Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. For today's video, I am finally getting around to filming the boys' 2.5-year update. I feel like they turned 2.5 in the blink of an eye, and now so many months have passed since then. It is September and the boys turned 3 in September, October, November, December, 4 months. So we're a little bit over that 2.5-year mark, but I did go ahead and make their appointment and it wound up getting pushed back a few times. So yesterday we finally got them to their 2.5-year checkup, and I'm finally sitting down to film the boys' 2.5-year update. The last time I filmed one of these update videos was back in February, I think, for their 2-year update. So quite some time has passed. And of course, I'm going to run through all the normal things that I run through in these videos: the boys' growth, their eating and sleeping habits, their development, how parenting is going at this stage of time, all that kind of stuff. And then at the end, I am going to go ahead and put in some really cute clips that I've just accumulated basically on my Snapchat over the past few months. I used to do this a lot in their beginning update videos, and then I feel like I stopped for a little bit. But over the past few months, I have gotten a lot of really cute videos, especially of the boys talking. And a lot of you guys say that you love hearing their voice and want to see them talk more. Now that their vocabulary has really expanded and their speech has taken off, they are talking so much. And so of course, I always get cute videos here or there on my Snapchat that I send to like my friends and family, and I go ahead and save those to memories. I'm going to go ahead and insert all that cute footage at the end of this video. I didn't wind up vlogging any of their 2.5-year checkup. I feel like as time has gone on, it's actually been getting more difficult to vlog with them. You would think it would be the other way around, but the first few months of their life, when they're not very reactionary, it's easy to vlog in settings like the doctor's office. But now that they're definitely more aware of what's going on and they're very verbal, filming in places like the doctor's office is a little bit hard just because they have more reactions and things to say about it. So I didn't go ahead and film any of it yesterday. The appointment was actually late in the afternoon. It was at 5 o'clock. And so we were there through dinner time. They didn't nap yesterday. It was very chaotic to begin with. So I didn't get any vlog footage. But hopefully today's video is just going to be a really quick rundown of what we've been experiencing over the past few months with the boys hitting 2.5. I love these videos mainly for myself to look back on. Every now and then I catch myself going back and watching old update videos to remember what they were like at the different ages. I feel like I'm having a hard time remembering what life was like at different points of time. My friend who has a son who's the boy's age also has another son who is turning 1 in just 2 weeks. And I'm like, I feel like I can't even remember what it was like when they were 1, like what they were doing or anything like that. So I go back every now and again and watch, of course, old vlogs, but also old update videos to see just where they've come from, how much they've grown. But these videos are also great for you guys if you have kids, or even if you don't have kids. Before I even had the boys, I used to watch update videos, like toddler and baby update videos, because I found it so fascinating how much you grow and develop in the first few years of your life. But then once I had the boys, I like to watch other people's baby and toddler update videos to use as like a guide per se. I know every child is different, and so it's not great to always compare your children to other people's children because every child is different in how they develop, especially with the boys. They walked very late. I don't think they walked until they were like 16 months old. So every child is different. It's not always great to compare your children to other people's children, but it is interesting to kind of see how other kids are developing, or kind of see what to expect in the next few months, or to use as a little bit of a reference just to kind of see where your child's at. So don't like take my videos as end all be all and compare your children so closely. These videos are just more for entertainment purposes and just to kind of learn a little bit more about the boys. So again, the boys just turned 2.5. Well, not really. They turned 2.5 a few months ago, but this is going to be the boys' 2.5-year update. So I'm going to kind of cut the rambling now, and we're going to jump right into it. Okay, so starting out with the boys' growth, this is always where I like to start. The boys are over that 30-pound mark now. Jack is 30 pounds and 2 ounces, and he's 37 inches tall, and so he's in the 50th percentile, and Ben is 30 pounds, 8 ounces, 36.5 inches tall, and he's in the 60th percentile. I was actually very concerned that Jack had lost quite a bit of weight when he came down with that adenovirus a few weeks ago. We had gone in and he weighed at, I think, like 29.5 pounds, but he didn't really eat for like 5 days after that. So I was concerned that he lost quite a bit of weight, but when we weighed them when we went yesterday, obviously he didn't, which was great to hear that he didn't wind up losing a lot of weight, and he did gain a few ounces since then. And Ben, I think back in February, he was about like 29-ish pounds, so he gained about a pound in the past few months. which is pretty standard. Your kids do kind of go through growth spurts early on, and it is good to see our kids gain a lot of weight, especially the boys being born premature at 36 weeks. It was good to see them gaining a lot of weight in the beginning, but when they become toddlers, children a lot of the times like level off and stop gaining a whole bunch of weight. So a pound is pretty like average for your children to gain. And I think for height, I think compared to last time, they grew about 2 inches each. And I always forget to mention this, but for their teeth, we do go to the dentist every 6 months, and we actually went a few weeks ago, and the dentist said that they have all of their teeth except one set of molars. I can't remember who is who. Either Ben has to still get his top molars or his bottom molars, or Jack has to get his top or bottom. I can't remember. I think Jack has to get his last set of top molars, which they are cutting through. I actually felt the other day, he told me his teeth hurt, and I do feel them coming through. And so I think Ben still needs to get his last set of bottom molars. Excuse me, I chugged my coffee right before this. But yeah, they almost have all of their teeth. Not quite yet, but I think that's pretty standard. The last set of molars, I think, is called their 2-year molar. And so it's pretty average for them to get it at any point in their 2nd year of life. So they're almost done getting all of their teeth. As for clothes and things like that, the boys are still fitting in some 18 to 24 month clothes, some 24 month clothes, and some 2T. Now this is confusing. I didn't know this before I became a parent, but 2T and 24 month are not the exact same, even though it's the same age technically. 24-month pants especially have room for a diaper still, and 2T don't. They don't have that like larger crotch area for a diaper, but the boys still fit in some 24 months, and some 2T things still fit with them having a diaper on. And speaking of diapers, I'll quickly jump into an update on potty training. The boys are not potty trained yet, which it's not the end of the world. It's not like an end all be all thing. I did try, if you guys are caught up with my videos, to potty train them a few weeks ago in between camp and school, but then Jack came down with that adenovirus, which is the sickest I've ever seen him, either of them, ever. He had 102 plus fever for like 5 days straight. It was so hard to keep the fever down, and that was the sickest I'd ever seen them be. And so we dealt with that for about a week, and then they started feeling a little bit better, and then they wound up starting nursery school. So we are still taking a pause from potty training. I do plan on jumping back into it in a few weeks or so. I actually talked to the pediatrician about it yesterday because I had some concerns and questions as far as the boys individually go with going to the bathroom. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I had some questions for her, and so we kind of have a game plan on how we're going to tackle everything, and I have to keep her up to date. But I am going to jump back into that in the next few weeks. Like I said, it's not an end-all be-all thing. Usually by 3 is where you want to see a child be potty trained. I think the pediatrician said nowadays it's more so by 2, but usually within that like 2 to 3 year age range, you want to see them be potty trained. And so I really plan on getting them potty trained before 3. And so we still have like 4 months until that happens. So I am going to pick up on that in the next few weeks. So moving into their eating and sleeping habits. So bedtime is basically the same as it's been for the past year, I would say. They go in around 6:45, 7 o'clock. It kind of depends on how their nap was that day. And they'll fall asleep by 7:38, like I said, depending on their nap that day. If they do wind up napping pretty late into the afternoon, like 2:30 or later, they do take a little bit longer to fall asleep. But I would say they're asleep by 8 o'clock the latest, and then they wake up anywhere between 6 and 7 a.m. and they've been doing that pretty much their whole entire lives. And then they still do go down for one nap. Now, before we started nursery school, that nap was at 11:45 at 12 o'clock, but with their schedule with school, they don't get out until 12:20, and so I've been trying to have them in by 1 o'clock. Now, this has been a big adjustment for us just because it is a new schedule, and they're going to have this schedule for months to come throughout the school year. The boys have been coming home and have been very energized and not wanting to take a nap, or it's taking them quite some time to fall asleep, and then they're sleeping like past that 2:30, 3 o'clock time frame, sometimes even as late as 3:30. And those are the nights that they're having a harder time falling asleep because they are sleeping so late into the day. So we kind of need to play around and see how we're going to adjust nap time and bedtime. But when they do fall asleep, and on the weekends, we still are putting them down around 12. When they do fall asleep, they are sleeping, I would say, 2.5 hours. They will sometimes sleep up to 3 hours, but on average, I would say it's about 2 hours. By the way, I have my notes down here. If you see me looking down and reading off my computer, I'm just reading my notes. I have everything written out so that I don't forget anything. But yeah, naps have kind of been a struggle because we are adjusting to this new routine of school. So I have to play around with that and see what we're going to do and how we're going to tackle it. Sometimes they come home from school and it's more of a battle to get them down than to just have them stay up. But then when they're staying up and not taking a nap, they are so wild, and then they hit a very defiant, cranky, unmanageable point. But then the only good thing is that those nights they fall asleep in like 5 minutes flat. So I need to find like a happy medium of trying to get them down or having them get down and not having them sleep so late to where they're having a really hard time of falling asleep. They are still in their cribs and they do still use sleep sacks. I plan on having them stay in their cribs for as long as I can until it's no longer safe. Thankfully, knock on wood, they've never tried to climb out of their cribs. That's not something that they've ever attempted. So it's still safe for them to be in the crib. If they ever did show signs of wanting to climb out, that is when we would transition them. But I would say by 3, I would think we would have them transitioned to a toddler bed and their cribs transitioned down into a toddler bed. So we don't need to buy new furniture or anything like that. But they're still in cribs and they're still using sleep sacks and they love their sleep sacks. So I'm going to use those, like I said, until we transition them into a toddler bed and then they no longer can wear a sleep sack for like safety reasons. They'll need to like get out of their bed and walk. But yeah, they're still in cribs and they're still in sleep sacks. For eating, they are thankfully back to a full appetite after being very sick. If you guys are caught up with our vlogs, you would know Ben had Coxsackie and then a week later, Jack got that adenovirus. And they were so sick. They really had no appetite, lingering for a week or so after that, but they're finally back to having a full appetite and they're eating really, really well again. At camp, it was funny. The counselors always said that the boys were like their best eaters, that they've never seen toddlers like sit down and just eat what was in front of them and eat as much as they did. So they were always really good eaters at camp, and at school I am packing lunch for them every day and they come home and they basically finish their lunchbox. I do pack a lot of variety for them, so it is quite a bit of food, but they are eating really, really well for that. 3 meals a day, snacks in between. They still love avocados. I've never seen children love an avocado so much. I was telling somebody, I can't remember who, I feel like avocados weren't a thing when I was younger. I feel like an avocado or eating avocados is like a newer thing. I didn't have avocado until I was probably like 16 at Chipotle for the first time, but I feel like avocados have become very mainstream and it's more common for kids to eat avocados nowadays. So the boys seriously have been having half an avocado every single day for the past year of their life. I would say almost every single day. I would say 5 days of the week they're having avocado, which is a lot of avocados, but they love it. And avocados are really good for you. I think I read somewhere that an avocado has as much potassium as like 10 bananas or something like that. So they are really good for them and they love them. So I'm going to feed them avocado for as long as they will eat them. Ben's favorite food right now is actually pretzel sticks. That's his favorite snack to eat. He asks me for pretzel sticks every single day, and so he loves his pretzel sticks. I pack those for his lunch a lot of the times, like as a little snack on the side. And then they do still take that multivitamin every day. I wanted to just make note of that. They are taking a multivitamin. It's prescribed by their pediatrician. They're still taking that every day. I think they started that when they were like 6 months old, 8 months old, and they're still taking it. It's in a chewable form now. It used to be like a little dropper, but they are still taking a vitamin every single day. So eating, I really can't complain. They're very good eaters. They are kind of branching out again. I was telling Harris, I feel like there was a period of time, probably when they turned 2 or like right after they turned 2, that they became very picky. There was a small like selection of food that they would eat, that they had like safe food. It was kind of hard to cook dinner for them. I felt like I was making the same 3 things and was like rotating every few days of like what they were eating for dinner and for lunch and everything. But I think that they're slowly coming out of that and they're definitely more open to trying new things. I've kind of stopped making them a separate dinner, and most of the time they eat what Harris and I have for dinner, and they're doing really good with that. Like they had sausage and peppers and they like that. They're eating salmon when Harris and I are having salmon. So they're definitely broadening their horizons with food again, which is always nice to see. Moving on to development. They are extremely active toddlers, and I feel like because there's 2 of them, like whenever one of them doesn't nap and I take them out of their room and it's just one of them, they are so calm. They like sit with me, watch TV with me, hang out with me, like play so nicely with like one toy or something like that. But when it's the both of them up at the same time, they are very active and they feed off of each other's energy, and they are just 0 to 100 all the time. They are very, very verbal, which is very cute, and it's good that they can communicate, but it's also challenging because they can communicate, and so hearing no is very hard for them. They catch an attitude sometimes, which is okay. I'm trying to like redirect that. But there's a lot of Ben bossing Jack around and telling him what he can and can't do. They like to boss me around and tell me to sit on the floor, sit on the couch, sit over here, go do that, get that for me. I don't want to get it, you get it. So it's just very challenging lately with them being so verbal and trying to like create positive communication, if that makes sense. Like they're very bossy lately for toddlers. And I don't want to say we're entering that terrible 2 stage, but I think it's safe to say we are entering that terrible 2 stage. And I've talked about this before. I always feel bad calling it the terrible 2 stage because it's not that they're terrible. It's just they're developing and changing and learning so many new things at once that things do become very frustrating for them, or they're really learning what they like and what they don't like. And so they are very like adamant in what they want and very like strong-willed for toddlers, if that makes sense. So it is cute that they can talk a lot and communicate with me, but we are having a very hard time with like attitudes and them being bossy. We are dealing with a lot of bickering and fighting now as brothers. I feel like for a while they didn't really acknowledge one another's like presence, or they didn't really interact all that much. But now they bicker and fight and go at each other a lot. And that has been very hard for me, is trying to redirect that behavior and teaching them that, you know, biting isn't okay, hitting isn't okay. And thankfully, we haven't had any instances where they've hit or bit another child at school or anything like that. It seems to be only between the 2 of them, but it is very hard to get a task done when Ben is trying to boss Jack around and then Jack retaliates and Jack hits him and then Ben hits him and then they're both crying and they both want me. It has been a challenge lately. So we have been dealing with a lot of bickering and fighting lately, and I am trying to teach them, this is like a side note, but I just thought of it. I am trying to teach them that they're twins, that they're not just brothers, they're twins, and it's a very special bond, and it's really, really cute. I actually have a video where I was telling them that they were twins, and Ben was like really excited about it, and Jack goes and like hides behind his crib and crosses his arms, and he says, I don't want to be a twin. It's really cute. I'll insert it right here for you guys to see. Jackie.
I want a kid.
Okay. I already talked about potty training. We are going to try and pick up with that in the next few weeks. They can do a lot in terms of like counting. Ben can count down from 10. They can count up to 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, like that way. They know all of their colors, their shapes, a lot of animal sounds, all their body parts. They are very quick to pick things up, which is really nice. They're coming home from school and they're able to tell me like a lot of things that they did that day, and they're able to like apply them in their everyday lives. And if I teach them a word or I teach them something once, they pick up on it really quickly, which is really cute to see. They are definitely able to learn things really quickly now, which again, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they're able to learn things and pick up on things and apply that stuff to their everyday lives, but they could pick up on bad habits really quickly. Things I say, things we do. Like I said, with them like being so defiant lately, they're learning like if I say no to something and it's a bad behavior, how to like twist that behavior. They're definitely very sneaky, smart toddlers at this point, but it is really nice to know that they are learning a lot in school and in their environment, and they're able to apply it to their everyday lives. And they're very emotionally expressive. Again, this goes in with like their vocabulary and them being able to talk. They are very emotionally expressive. I have helped them learn like how to put words to their feelings. So Jack actually got upset the other day because Harris took a blanket that he was playing with because he was cold and he wanted it. But he was able to come upstairs and verbalize to me that he was angry because Daddy took his blanket. So it is very good that they're able to put like words and meaning behind how they're feeling. I think that's very important for toddlers to be able to do. But like I said, they're just in like a very defiant, sneaky, hard toddler age. I feel like this age in particular has been the hardest as a parent to navigate, because like I said, they know what they want, they know what they don't want, they can talk a lot more, they're like learning, like not so much how to like manipulate the situation, but they're just very aware of what they do and how I react to it and how things are going to play out. And so this age in particular has been very, very hard for me. I feel like I'm having to learn all over again how to parent, and a lot of my old ways of approaching things are not working anymore. And so it's redirecting my own thought patterns and trying to like diffuse situations differently. I think this is the hardest age so far. Like I tell Harris all the time, toddlers are not for the weak. And my friend again, who has the toddler that's the same age as the boys and then a 1-year-old, her and I talk a lot about like how draining the toddler age is, because you would think with them being older that they would be more independent, but because they are more aware of their surroundings, they can talk more, they're more emotionally aware, it's actually more challenging and hands-on and just demanding than what you think it would be for them being like as old as they are, if that makes sense. Like there's just a lot more that they're aware of, and there's a lot more parenting that goes into it. Like with an 8-month-old, you're not really parenting an 8-month-old. You're just kind of caring for them and helping them grow and flourish and learn the world around them. At this age, a lot more parenting goes into it to kind of correct those negative behaviors, those new behaviors that they're learning, to like teach them right from wrong, teach them what is okay to do and what is not okay to do, and what is okay to say and what is not okay to say, and how to handle their emotions and react to situations. It's just a lot more parenting that goes into it, and it's definitely a more demanding and draining age. But I think that's everything that I have to update you guys on. Oh, I did want to mention that some of their favorite things to do, Ben is really good at kicking a soccer ball. We really want to get him signed up for soccer. I think around us, the age that a lot of the teams start is 3. So I think by next year, we're going to have them on some sort of sports team. But Ben is really good at soccer and kicking a soccer ball. And their favorite activities include soccer, playing with Play-Doh, coloring, running outside. They love being outside. The weather has dropped a little bit here in New York, and it's been nice. It's been like in the 70s and 60s, so it's kind of comfortable being outside. It's not unmanageable and super hot like it was over the summer, so we have been able to spend more time outside. But I think that's it for everything that I wanted to update you guys on. I think the main takeaway for 2.5 is that this is a hard age. It's definitely more demanding on me as a parent, and so it's been hard. If you have a toddler around the age of the boys, please let me know down below how you're feeling and how you're approaching toddlerhood and parenting them. I know I asked you guys over on Instagram like what you wanted me to talk about in this video, and one of the things was parenting advice, and I wish I had more advice for you. I feel like I try and give little tidbits of advice in these videos, but the past few months has been very hard for me, and I'm still trying to figure out moving forward how to approach different situations with the boys. This age has definitely been the hardest. So if you have a toddler this age and you're going through the same thing I'm going through and feeling like it's a lot lately, no, you're not alone. And if you are in this age, or you have a toddler that is older than this and you kind of got through this stage, please let me know down below any advice that you have for getting through this 2.5-year stage, because this has been very hard. But I think that's it. I think that's everything I wanted to update you guys on. I am going to go ahead and insert all those cute videos right here for you guys to see. And if I missed anything, or if you have any questions, leave those down below. I always try and answer, or at least like and respond to my comments down below, so you guys know that I see you and I hear you and I know that you guys are there. I love reading all your guys' comments. So if I missed anything and you guys want me to like touch on anything, leave a comment down below. But I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Stick around for all those cute little videos I'm going to insert right here. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
Do your angry face.
No, stop.
At the mirror.
Me.
Me? What's his name?
Jack.
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 What is that? What's that? What's in your hand? What's that? Ice cream cone. love you.
I love you.
No, I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Can you say Demogorgon?
Dinosaur.
Oh, good job. Can you say dinosaur?
Dinosaur.
Oh, that was good. Can you say Pikachu?
Pikachu.
Good job. Can you say Tyrannosaurus Rex? Tyrannosaurus Rex? Hello? What happened?
Cheese.
I have a question. What's this? What is this?
Pasta.
What's this?
Pasta.
Pasta and?
Mommy.
What's this one?
I think it's dog.
Hot diggity dog? You want a little sister?
Ha
Uh-huh.
ha.
What do you... A dinosaur? Yeah. You're reading books in your chair?